I love it. It means a lot to me. I've been to 2 Final Fours. I could actually go back to a Final Four. Like College World Series,
Ooh.
I like that. Fun. And I get that when your team does finally punch their ticket, people are going to jump in their SUVs and jump on planes and go.
Whoa.
Whether it's Mississippi State, Ole Miss, or Southern Miss. Okay? But I don't have to go back to Omaha. Okay? I loved it. When your team's winning. That was my 4th trip out there, and I've never seen them win. I've told that story before, too. And so, but with Blake doing that to Jason, it was damn funny, but it's very Blake.
Oh.
Right?
To the T. He's I'm trying to figure out if he should have qualified as a winner or not. Because if I won, I'm not winning. I don't.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think we could have. All right, we are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Straight funk with me. It's March Madness. I will get into college baseball at some point, but the madness is going to lead for right now because, one, the Blake Scott was my producer at one point. Jason Price was the intern who became the producer. And Jason Price won our March Madness bracket the first month I think he was an intern. And Blake didn't give him the A-level stuff that we have. Like if you're listening right now and your name is Sarah or Craig.
Right.
And you win, you're going to get the A+ stuff.
Oh. Heat.
You're going to have to carry a box home.
Correct.
Because it's going to be all kinds of goodies. And I'm going to get something from the Rogue Men's Store, Peter Millar, from Luke. I'm going to get something from Rick's Pro Truck. I'm going to get some. We're going to add to this. Spring Street cigars. Well, I've already got 6 boxes of M over S and Ole Miss cigars, so we can figure that out. But there'll be tons of swag and bar swag and gear. But yeah, that's what Blake did to Jason. Steve Munn says, "Woo pig." He's got to be riding high. Arkansas takes 2 or 3 from Mississippi State in baseball. They have arguably the best pitching staff in the league. And Calipari just ran through the tournament. I say ran through. He just made it. They won the championship against Vanderbilt. It was a hell of a run. Darius Acuff is unbelievable. And y'all all know the deal. So, right? Fair enough.
How's he that good that young? That mentally aware that young?
Okay, how good was Derrick Rose? Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
John Rothstein is saying that Darius Acuff is the best point guard that
no way
Cal has ever coached.
Ooh.
And I agree.
Yeah.
And that's knowing that that's not a shot at Derrick Rose.
No.
He's unbelievable. I got to watch him play live in college. Unfortunately, he beat Mississippi State almost single-handedly, although Jamont Gordon was really good that afternoon too. But the point is, Darius Acuff is unreal. He's unbelievable. And then go ahead and throw in more praise and love for this guy. Because when he wants it, y'all saw it all weekend. When Jay Billis, I could listen to Jay Billis talk about college basketball forever. But when he talks about bucket getters, Darius Acuff is the number 1 bucket getter in college basketball. And if you noticed, again, he can score from all 3 levels. And what he does in transition and half court. But his ability, his court awareness in transition is unbelievable. And at that age, his basketball IQ and intellect is off the charts. Because he's doing stuff. He already knows where he's going to go before he understands what's going to happen in 3 to 4 seconds.
Right.
And that's virtually impossible.
He is statistically by far and away the number one point guard that Cal's ever had.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm not ready to say that by far and away he's better than Derrick Rose, but
no,
he is. He is better. Obviously, he's physically. Look, Derrick was unbelievable, and before the knee injuries, good Lord. But this guy and his upside and his runway and everything that Darius Acuff for Arkansas can do is just ridiculous. He has a chance to be a star in the league. And most guys, you can't be a star in the NBA.
Right.
There's only like 3. There's just not that. There's just no space. There's no oxygen. You can't do it. They don't let you in. MJ, Kobe, LeBron. There's just only so many stars. Like mega global superstars, there's usually only one, if you even have one.
Right.
Obviously, LeBron's still playing this thing out, so whatever. But
like after him, Durant, I guess.
Yeah, I mean Durant was a star.
He should, yeah.
Yeah, no question,
no doubt
about it. Great player,
megastar though.
I don't know if I'm going to go with Durant because you have to reserve that space for LeBron, Kobe, and MJ and Bird and Magic type players.
Right.
So there are stars and then there are megastars. Same thing in musicians.
What about Curry?
I mean, there's Cher where that's all you have to say. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter what hotel lobby you are in. This is how you judge it, whether you're a star or a megastar. It does not matter whether you're in London, Tokyo, Milan, New York, L.A., wherever. If all you have to say is Mick is here,
yeah,
people know. Or Cher or Madonna. All you have to do is say LeBron, Kobe, MJ, Magic, people know.
What about Curry? He had a big global impact for that little stretch. When I say that, I mean he was over there a lot, across the pond.
Yeah. He's really, really close.
He's really close. He's fringe.
Greatest shooter of all time.
I mean,
changed the way the game was played.
He's known with one name.
Yeah, I would think Steph.
I think I got him.
Same thing. When you're walking through Barcelona in the Ritz-Carlton,
right,
and all you have to do is say one name, Madonna or Steph, you're a global superstar.
I'm gonna count him.
There's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the nod.
You giving him the nod?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay. I think it's close, but I'm willing to do it. 3 Hump Camels coming in strong on the sports betting. So this little text drop will be brought to you by Pearl River Resort and the Golden Moon Casino Vegas-style sportsbook. Already heard from some guys that are going up Friday, which is awesome. Get you a group. Go up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or a combination of 2 days, and go to pearlriverresort.com and go ahead and you'll want to stay in the Golden Moon Hotel. You hit the elevator, you walk down, you hit the lobby. In 30 seconds, you walk into the Vegas-style sportsbook. So you put your bag on the bed. You may get a beer. Hit the elevator. You're in the lobby. You're in the Vegas-style sportsbook in the Golden Moon in 30 seconds. It's beautiful. Now, if you download the app, if you download the PRR Sports app, you can bet wherever you are. You can be with your buddies getting a beer at the Center Bar, and you can bet on Arizona or Duke or Michigan or Florida or Arkansas. Arkansas is going out to Portland after winning the SEC championship tournament.
Right.
All right, back to 3 Hump Camel on this sports betting. He goes, this is on the Dancing Rabbit golf text line. Duke plus 300 and Arizona plus 400. Put a little scratch on both and you'll get paid. How about that? 3 Hump Camel coming in strong. What do you think?
Hey, I mean, I usually you're going to have your 1 seeds end up in the Final Four. I think if you look statistically, it's pretty high, right? You at least have 1 or 2 of them. It's not a bad bet.
Okay.
Sprinkle a little bit on all the ones, and then take your pick.
This is Mac from Inlet Beach, says, I'm ready for the Spring Breakers to go home. I think I'm going with Arizona. My dark horse for the Sweet 16 is High Point.
Let's go.
Only because I've been on their campus once. A friend of mine, I think David Rula's son, played soccer there. High Point is right in basketball country in North Carolina. I mean, it's right in the heart of everything that's going on. Duke, North Carolina, NC State's had their moments. Wake has had their moments. Y'all know the drill, right? Oh, yeah. Hell, UNC Charlotte. Now they're just Charlotte. But back in the day, UNC Charlotte used to be competitive. UNC Wilmington may have made a run. I can't remember, but it's unbelievable over there. And, of course, Shire and Duke are looking good. Hey, the Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. And go with the home team, as Jake Mangum likes to tell us. Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent in any of the 82 counties in the state of Mississippi. It's a good weekend. It's a good Monday to be a Razorback because they've been through hell in football.
Man. Fair enough? Redemption.
And now they've got Van Horn, who's one of the best in the country. But they've had him in baseball. And Cal, who's one of the best in the country. Cal needed a reboot for whatever reason. And he got it at Arkansas. And all he does is he's like Patino. Patino's better, but he's really, really good, and he's special, and he's a Hall of Famer. But he's like Patino. Wherever he goes, he wins. I mean, he took UMass and Canby to the Final Four in 96. Y'all know that because Mississippi State was in that Final Four. And so, right?
I mean, what is he doing up there in the Final Four with that team? Not supposed to.
Right. It's UMass. I mean, I know they're in basketball country in the Northeast, stacked concrete. That's all they do. I get it. But still, they're UMass. It's not like St. John's.
No.
Who had their deal in Georgetown and Seton Hall and Providence and all the, PJ, all those coaches took those teams to the, my first Final Four was 1987. Rick Pitino took Providence.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
PJ Carlissimo took Seton Hall to the Final Four. John Thompson obviously not only went to the Final Four, but won a national championship at Georgetown.
Right.
Okay. Villanova with Raleigh Massimino not only went to the Final Four, they won a title in the 80s. So those cats, Syracuse, Boeheim, I don't know how many Final Fours he went to. He would eventually win it with Carmelo in 03, but he was in the Final Four that I went to in 87. All right. I mean, it was Boeheim, Bobby Knight, Rick Pitino, and Tark the Shark. All Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Walked in, yeah.
All Hall of Famers. And so when you look at what Cal did at UMass and other spots, it's incredible. Well, hell, Memphis. I mean, they were DOA. They had gone to hell. I mean, they had their former coach went to federal prison.
That's right.
They bottled it there for a minute, and then they lost their way. And then Cal comes in and good Lord, I mean, he made them hot and spicy.
Big time.
Yeah. So, hey, real quick on the East region of the tournament, on the East region, you got Duke, you got UConn, you got Michigan State, you got Kansas, and you got St. John's.
Sheesh.
Let me go over that for you. You got Duke and Shire. Now, he's doing a good job. He hasn't won one, but he's only been there for a minute.
Right.
You got UConn and Hurley. He's already won two. So Surly Hurley's in that region together. You got Michigan State. Izzo, he has a title, and he's lived in Final Fours and definitely lived in the second weekend, which, as y'all know, is the Sweet 16 in the Elite Eight. You got Kansas and Bill Self. He's got two. Okay. And I don't know how many Final Four appearances. From Mario Chalmers to his most recent one down in New Orleans when I was there just a few years ago when they beat North Carolina to win it, right?
He's got 2.
Okay. And then St. John's and Patino has 2. Patino has one at Kentucky and one at Louisville, and I'm not letting them vacate the Louisville.
No.
That's just in the East region. We want you to jump in our bracket. ESPN.com bracket challenge. The name of ours is OOB High Rollers. OOB High Rollers. Pick the winners, and let's go. God, can you believe that East region is Duke,
That's wild.
UConn, Michigan State, Kansas, and the Johnnies from St. John's?
Stacked.
Rick Pitino promised Lou Carnesecca, who was the legendary coach with Chris Mullins and all that back in the 80s. He promised him that they were going to win when he took the job. They just won the Big East regular season title and the Big East tournament. Rick Pitino, what happens if he stays at Kentucky?
Oh,
How many titles does he win? Even his son gives him a hard time on Twitter about if he would have stayed at Kentucky and not gone to the Celtics, how many titles he would have won. I mean, Tubby won one 2 years later
right.
with Ricky P's players.
Right. I love that for him.
Ricky P won it in 96. Lute Olson with Arizona won his first one in 97. Tubby came back in 98 and won it. And Tubby was
He's all right.
he was a good coach. Not special, but good.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, what he did at Georgia was impressive. They went to the Sweet 16 before he got hired at Kentucky. He had no idea Ricky P was going to go to the Celtics. And so on.
How did that transpire? Was that like a thing for Ricky P, or was it like just
Pitino could never scratch the itch of the NBA. He had already been with the Knicks.
right?
So he'd already done this once. Providence
Oh yeah.
to the Knicks to Kentucky to the Celtics to Louisville. So it was kind of staggered some college NBA.
Success in the NBA was
Well, you remember the Celtics had bad luck.
the draftee.
Right. And so, yeah, it didn't work out like he wanted it to.
Right.
Who was it? Pat Riley? Did Pat Riley replace? No, I think that maybe they had someone else after Ricky P and then Pat Riley. I think
That was the bias
with the Knicks. Yeah, Lenny Bias was
Celtics,
before
okay.
Pitino.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't remember who their coach. I don't know who it was at that time. All right, we're live in the Bank Plus studio. Back in a second. But did
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Low Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Oh, look at that.
Man, that's what I say when I look at my bracket. Good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. Jump in our bracket challenge on ESPN.com. All right, just go to the bracket challenge, tournament challenge. I don't know. You're smart. You can click on it. And type in OOB High Rollers. OOB High Rollers. OOB High Rollers, baby. I may put something, I mean, we've already got some good stuff put together, but I may really hit a grand slam. Let me see what shakes out here over the next few days as far as the grand prize for the winner of the OOB High Rollers bracket challenge on ESPN.com. Jump in. If you win it, you know that you're going to, Christmas will come early. Yeah, let me talk to Elijah Craig, see what I can come up with. That'll be for 21 and older. Because we could have someone win that's 19, which will be fine too.
Yep.
But you won't get
right
that. All right. I mean, I guess I can give you some swag,
yeah,
but I can't give you any booze. All right. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. TJ said it's snowing at the Res. Is he messing with us, or is that true, Jackson?
No way. No, it's 40 degrees out there. There's no way.
Is he
gotta be. He's got. I mean,
is he yanking your gold chain?
Yeah, I'm thinking about science here.
Because I don't have one.
I went silver today, but we'll go science here.
Science. Science? Oh, I love science.
Yeah, science says
kind of like COVID. There was no science, but we kept talking about it.
That's
fantastic. Let's do a whole show on that.
The science says it's not snowing.
Okay. All right. Well, the science says that there's some amazing steaks, and this is true, at Kessler Prime in the Renaissance, KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. You can go ribeye, New York strip, filet, porterhouse. I recommend the rack of lamb. Pair it with some award-winning Elijah Craig bourbon, and that is a winning combo. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app and the Zone 1059.com. So some of you want me to talk about Southern Miss, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State, losing 2 or 3 this weekend. I'm not going to freak out over it. I'll let other shows do that. I'll tell you this, and I'll really just, because I'm not going to super break it down. You got one on, I think Southern Miss is the most disappointed. Okay. While I know that Mississippi State wanted 2 or 3 and Ole Miss wanted 2 or 3, Southern Miss is, I think, positioning themselves to be the deal in the Sun Belt. Coastal Carolina is not what they were. They lost 2 of their main dudes. And it's not, I mean, they're not great every year, but they've been really good at times. This comes down to situational hitting and situational pitching. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. And also, let me just give you an example. Friday night against Arkansas, Mississippi State, when you've got a guy up there in the 5th inning and you have a chance to get him out twice and you don't. Well, when you're playing and this can go to you can take this, extrapolate it into the Ole Miss Texas series or the Southern Miss Arkansas State series. But when you have a guy at the plate and you have a chance to get him out twice, and then he goes around to score, When you're playing a team like Arkansas, they're going to make or Texas, they're going to make you pay for that. That's pretty simple, right? And yes, I understand the behind the plate struggles, but you also can't go from the third inning to the eighth inning on the game 3 without getting a hit. I mean, these are just very simple things. So I don't know that we necessarily need to. I think you're still looking for. I think both coaches are looking for options on the back end. And what's his name was talking about how just about everybody's looking for the third star. I think we think that every year you're going to have 3 starters and you don't. The year that Mississippi State won the national championship in 2021, they didn't have 3 bona fide starters. In fact, McLeod struggled. I mean, Bednar came on late and was dominant. McLeod struggled, and then you piece it together. Ole Miss did the same thing. Obviously, DeLucia got super red hot, but it's not like you had 3 studs starting to take you to the national championship. And it's really probably not going to happen more times than not. I mean, LSU is still scuffling, all right? And they just played Vanderbilt over the weekend and lost 2 or 3, and they had already lost 5 non-cons, right? So I could freak out and we could go whatever. I can, drum this up and get you all hot and bothered, but you have 27 more conference games. You didn't get swept, and you were playing teams that are loaded. I mean, it would be different if you had gone on the road against, again, Georgia State and lost, but you played Arkansas and Texas. These 2 teams have Schlossnagle and Van Horn, and they have dudes like you do. Now, are you going to have to hold serve at home? Hell yes, you are. Are you going to have to not steal? You'll have to go get a series on the road at some point, which is very doable.
Yeah.
Okay? But you know the drill. We have 9 more of these. 9 times 3 is 27, plus the midweek. And so we'll march on. I think there's still question marks both in Starkville and Oxford. And they're really smart guys, and they're working on it 15 hours a day. So we're just going to have to see. Do you really know what you have? I've said this the last few weeks. Some of y'all are wanted me to come in with some kind of definitive statement after week 1 of non-con. Did you really know what you had going through non-con, even when you were playing challenging teams like UCLA? I mean, you got to get in conference play and see. And you both happen to open up with 2 of the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
Who have sent 1 million players to MLB. So I think, yeah, it's disappointing. Yes.
Sure.
Hell yes, you want to win every series. You should.
They're both top 5 teams right now. Texas and Arkansas.
Arkansas is. I
Definitely,
can't remember where Texas is.
Okay. I mean,
the State-Arkansas was a top 5 matchup.
that's awesome.
So Mississippi State has played number 1 UCLA, number 9 Southern Miss, and number whatever in the hell Arkansas was. They're not going to, and nobody's going to have to worry about RPI.
No.
The Dancing Rabbit golf text line is 601-885-3776. Let me give you something else. I'm not counting LSU out. I know they've brung up 7 losses, but hey, don't be surprised if you look up May 10th. And they've already, and actually start about a week and a half before that. They started their March, and they walk into Hoover, and they're hot. Now, it may not, maybe this year's going to be all hot garbage. I don't know. But don't be so, it's early, and Jay Johnson is a freaking winner. 2 national titles. He was unbelievable at Arizona. He was unbelievable at Nevada. Who recommended him getting hired at Arizona? Greg Byrne called John Cohen when he was the sitting head baseball coach at Mississippi State, said, who should I hire? And John said, Jay Johnson from Nevada. Hey, the text line, 601-885-3776. What's your takeaway from March Madness and college baseball this weekend? Let us know on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. Woo. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. This is what Rick Pitino and John Calipari are saying today.
Show me the money!
I mean, they're already making millions, and I mean millions. But this is what they told their boosters.
Show me the money!
And you can do that when you're winning at that level. Congratulations. How are these guys still... You know, they were arch rivals. And Calipari, Pitino, great Italian names, Northeast basketball, both kind of come out of UMass and Providence. They were other places prior to that. And they're polarizing but brilliant. They've won everywhere. They both went to the NBA, kind of worked out. They've been phenomenal in college. They've gone through the highs and lows of life, and yet they win. They persevere. They reboot. You know, all the corny stuff that we talk about, they evolve. I've been listening. I've shared with you. I've been listening to Pitino nonstop the last 2 to 3 years on everywhere that he shows up. And him talking about how he's totally different philosophically. The guy's 72 years old. And he's able to pivot and adjust and evolve. And talking about how my practices are different. We used to, we used to practice defense 3 times more. Now we realize we have to practice offense. And I love what he said. He said, look, there's no doubt defense is important. And strategically and schematically, it's you got to do a lot of different things. And it is technical. But a lot of it is effort and want to. But when Pitino was talking on a podcast a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he was like, yeah, but offense is timing. And if you don't go over it and over it and over it and over it, it ain't going to work. It's not going to happen. And you can see that. I mean, Mississippi State has struggled on offense. Jans is notorious for, 80% of his practice being defense. And it does matter. Okay. And Jans can coach. And he's a good coach. But there's got to be an adjustment. Pitino was talking about his walkthroughs are totally different. That 90% of his walkthrough when he was at Providence and Kentucky and Louisville was D. He's like, now today we're 50-50. Guys, that's a big deal. I mean, even if you're talking about 1 or 2 percentage points in what we do, that's a big deal. 5, 10, you're talking about a 40%, 40-point swing. Pitino, and we're about to drop some audio here. John Fanta may be the best in college basketball. Fanta, Rothstein, and Jay Billis. There's some others, by the way, that are really good at covering the game that I know I love. And this time of year, even for those of you that are just football, baseball, I think a lot of you still get into March Madness this weekend when you're cooking a steak and having a beverage, even if it's background music. For me, I'll be locked in because I'm a basketball nerd. But John Fanta, I think, has become one of the better basketball analysts out there. And this is Fanta interviewing Rick Pitino after Rick beat Seton Hall in the semifinals, and they were going to play they beat UConn, but they were going to play UConn in the Big East Championship. Here it is.
Rick, you're heading back to the Big East Championship game. St. John's hasn't done that since 1999 and 2000 in back-to-back years. How did your team get it done tonight?
Well, more impressive to me is beating Seton Hall 3 times because they play as if they haven't eaten for a week. And got to give a lot of credit to Shaheen. That's why he's Coach of the Year. But beating them, we broke a little bit, but we never folded. And that's the sign of a good team because if you watch what Seton Hall's done to everybody, they come back, they play making a 1-point game. We didn't. We broke a little bit, bent a little bit, but we came through making free throws.
I'll give you another nugget. Zubi Ejiofor is the first player in this event, Rick Pitino, to have 4 consecutive games of at least 20 points. You've often told me he doesn't care about that. He cares about winning.
Yep.
He's the first player to do that since one Kemba Walker. What do you say? What can you say about Zubi?
We all know he's a great basketball player, great person. And I'm excited as hell that NCAA's thinking of a 5th year and we got Zubi back.
You said this group does not fold. How much do you feel as though the way that you tested them back in November with such a high-level schedule has built that in them?
Well, look, we missed a free throw to beat Michigan. We lost by one point, I think, to Iowa State. The only bad game we played was Auburn, and give credit to what credit's due. They played great. So I'm proud of our guys. We've had a great season. It's not easy beating Seton Hall 3 times. They get after you.
As we're talking, you don't know who you're playing tomorrow, but you've often told me it's about us. You earned 40 more in this building to go back-to-back. What's your mindset heading into a Saturday night in MSG?
Well, it's no luck that Connecticut's beat them because Georgetown's played them to 2 close ball games, and they're playing very well. I just hope it's a tough game for both teams, and we'll play the winner.
See you.
All right. They played UConn and beat them, but I could listen to Rick Pitino talk about his players, his next opponent, who he respects as a coach, or who they are and what they are. I could do it all day. And I think if you've listened to this show, you know that. And again, I saw Pitino, 1987, Providence, Final Four in New Orleans. Billy Donovan was his guard. And from there, who knew that a few years later he would end up at Kentucky? And he brought star power to a sport that our league didn't care about. Okay? I mean, we were football. Power I, Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker are running the triple or the wishbone, and that's what we were. Right? I mean, again, it was a very rustic Southeast. People played hoops, and we had some teams. Rupp had built what he built at Kentucky. There were some other moments, Dale Brown going to the Final Four in the 80s. Wimp went to 6 Sweet 16s, I think. And God knows if Wimp punches his ticket just once or twice in that run, kind of what we think of there with him. Was it Hugh Durham and Dominique may have gone to the Final Four in 80 or 81, but we were football. And what Pitino did, because I lived it. I was in high school and college, and I was going to whether Kentucky was playing here in the state of Mississippi or whether they were playing in SEC tournaments. If you want to know about star power, you remember, y'all lived it. You remember when he would walk out on the court in 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 90 at Kentucky? You could feel the star power. And he dressed like he was going out to a $500 million dinner in Manhattan, which, quite frankly, wasn't quite our MO down here. Okay? I mean, yeah, we had some coaches wear suits. It looked like really bad polyester. But Pitino had the whole thing. And he just had this presence about him. And he brought star power to a sport that was an afterthought in the Sun Belt. He did. And I link these guys all the time. And I know y'all probably get tired of hearing about it. But Rick Pitino and Steve Spurrier, almost at the same time, brought star power to a league that wasn't what it is today. And we needed star power. And we got it with the Florida Gators playing the way they did in football. And it wasn't 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And Pitino playing the way he did on the hardwood. And that kind of coincided with every year more and more money coming into the league. Steve Robertson, I know y'all are chomping at the bit to break down baseball. God help us. Steve Robertson coming up next on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. That's what Steve Robertson's saying.
Show me the money!
That's right. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. It's a big week or weekend this weekend in Starkville as they host the Vanderbilt Commodores. And y'all know all the good places, starting with Older Brother Bistro in the Cotton District, which is fantastic. It's an elevated version of Two Brothers, which is really, really good. And they're right beside each other in the Cotton District. And don't forget, Taste Italian Restaurant in Starkville, too, is there. You got Big E's Steakhouse over there, which is awesome. Wendy and I love to go there. It's right by OOB's on that side. And then you've also got a little Commodore Bob's, all kinds of good spots to pick and choose. In fact, I still owe Steve, this is bad. I still owe Steve Robertson dinner from he and I betting that Coleman Hutzler, I said he wouldn't be back, and he wasn't, but it changed. And he said he wouldn't. And we kept going through it, and eventually Levy told him he wasn't going to fire him. And so Hutzler came back for year 2. I still owe Steve Robertson dinner. And Steve, genespage.com, 247 Sports. Steve Robertson, how are you, bud?
Well, I keep forgetting about the steak dinner, but now, I mean, my mood this morning has now improved. I know that you're indebted to me. I need to cash in on that sometime soon.
You have to. I have to buy you dinner at either Commodore Bob's, Big E's, Taste, or Older Brother Bistro. Elevated, like, whatever you want. Ribeye, filet. Are you a ribeye guy or a filet guy?
I'm a ribeye guy.
Me too.
You know what? I can always come down to the greater Madison area and maybe go to Kessler Prime or somewhere like that. I got a car. Everything. I don't have a curfew either. So.
That's right. Yeah, you just drove to Fayetteville, Arkansas, so you're good. Yeah, well, we'll host you here too. So however that goes. Let's. I'm not going to pinpoint something. I'm not going to go way deep here. I'm going to let you go. Mississippi State loses 2 of 3. It's not all doom and gloom. They won a game and were very competitive, especially in game 1. Game 3 kind of lost their way a little bit. But what's your, as you look at it, hitting, pitching, behind the plate, what's your one big takeaway from the Mississippi State-Arkansas series?
Well, I'll give you a couple. Number one, offensively, we're really good. We didn't show it in game 3. I mean, you get a 3-0 lead there in the second inning, and they don't get another hit until the 8th inning. And it's going to be like that sometimes in the SEC.
Sure.
But, you don't really know what you have in the bullpen until this first weekend. And I really thought Arkansas probably managed it a little bit better than we did because, granted, you get the benefit if you're Dave Van Horn, knowing in game 2 that, State separates, so you're not gonna throw any big arms in a game that's already done, especially the first game of a doubleheader. So they kind of, pushed their premium relief arms to game 3. And so I think the decision to throw Ben Davis in game 2 kind of came back to haunt Mississippi State in game 3. Now, Ben Davis was not great. Don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of that kind of goes back to what happened at Arlington, right? I mean, you're up big. Virginia Tech, you're just trying to get the game over. So you run Jack Bauer and some younger kids out there, and then it ends up having to be played full 9. That, it's just those kinds of things. I think it says, hey, let's make sure we get one. Let's get this handled, and then we've got everybody else available for game 3. And I thought Arkansas had one more bullet in the gun because they still had McElvain to pitch, the last couple of innings for them. And so, I think over the course of the weekend, when you look at the full weekend, you're happy to get 1. You wanted to get 2, and the opportunity was there to get 2. And so, I really don't lament so much game 3 as I do game 1. I mean, you had every opportunity, and then some things happened, and Arkansas rallies, and then Ryder Woodson hits that big shot, and what do you know? They walk it off at the bottom of the ninth. I mean, that's Friday night in the SEC, but yeah, my feelings about the team haven't changed. I'm just disappointed they didn't win the series.
Okay. What what's the answer or solution behind the plate for Brian O'Connor and Hail State baseball?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. And that's one of the things that I've kind of pointed out a couple times. Sean James, and I'm not being critical of Sean, he's a very talented guy, and he's still figuring some things out and having to play on the college level, at a more extensive level. But he has a lot of balls that go off the net, and I don't just mean when there are runners on. I mean, just there could be nobody on base, and there's a lot of times he just doesn't catch it clean. And I think that's probably maybe he works that out in the midweek, and maybe you stick more with Maluski and Raymond. I think Raymond is the most complete catcher, and Maluski's probably the best defensive catcher. So maybe you platoon those guys on the weekend. Raymond is your left-handed catcher and left-handed hitter when they're throwing righties, and Maluski, works the other side of it. But the fact that Maluski maybe is rounding back into good health, I think gives you maybe the opportunity to have two guys that have caught a lot more Division I baseball on the weekends.
Okay. What are they going to – how do you feel about the third starter? Let's start with, when do you think that they'll settle on their third starter, Steve?
I think that's done.
Okay.
And I thought Big Stone pitched really well on the road against Arkansas, and I think he's only going to get better week after week. I think he got 3 quality starts, and obviously Duke was beginning to fade, in that final inning. But I think the bigger concern is you got to figure out how you bridge the back, right? I mean, how do you get those final 9 outs of a ball game? Because you feel like between McPherson and Valenkas, that they will probably be able to go 6-7 innings a game. So how do you piece it together on the back end? I think Maddox Webb has got to be a big part of that. I think Ben Davis has to be a big part of that. But some other guys are going to have to step up. Tyler Pitcher's a guy that was the Cape Cod Pitcher of the Year. And, that the wooden bat can kind of fool you a little bit. But the guy can throw strikes. Parker's got to figure that aspect out. And listen, this staff is coached by one of the best. This team is coached by one of the best staffs in the country. And so they'll know the right buttons to push. It's just like I see everybody leaving LSU dead for buried. Jay Johnson hadn't won 2 national championships in quick succession because he can't coach. By the time they get to the month of April and month of May, Jay will know the right buttons to push at LSU. So anybody that's having these huge hot takes after this one weekend of SEC play probably just needs to take a little bit of a step back and understand it's a learning process for everybody.
All right, you mentioned the back end. So you're confident that can get that they're a little inexperienced and young on the bump. And that's just what happened in the 60 days that they put together, 60, 90 days to put the roster together last year. Is that fair, Steve?
It is fair, but, you went out and you got some portal guys like Jackson Loger, and he's kind of been a non-factor. And really hadn't seen him much at all. But, you get him, and you hope that he can be a guy out of the bullpen. Pitcher hadn't pitched a whole lot. Billingsley has probably pitched more than anybody expected with varying results, and had a really good outing earlier in the week down in Biloxi, and then he got hit. The good thing is he's not walking people like he was the first couple of times, and that's kind of the reality of college baseball. You got to learn to trust your stuff and let your teammates make plays behind you. But nobody has stepped up as kind of that bona fide closer. Brendan Sweeney has had some moments, but the last couple of outings with him have been a little bit shaky, and so Parker and O'Connor are learning who they can trust. And as they find out who they can trust, they will elongate these outings a little bit, right? You won't have as much mixing and matching and that sort of stuff. And you got to see how guys are going to respond on the SEC road.
Sure.
I mean, and that's all part of it. But yeah, anybody that thinks that O'Connor and Parker are just asleep at the wheel and they don't see the same things they do from a concern standpoint, they're just kind of kidding themselves. But yeah, they'll get it worked out. It's a big week for Mississippi State. I mean, you got Jackson State tomorrow, and you got Vandy coming in. Should be some great crowds here, and obviously 3 very important ball games against a Vandy team that ended up taking 2 out of 3 from OSU.
Yeah, anybody who's calling out Oak, and first of all, I know that I don't see what they see, so I'll start there. And but. Don't you love I think the commitment and the freak out is good, but I also, like you're talking about, there's 27 games left, And this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I think you and I've talked about this, Steve. I think you mentioned it last week or the week before, and we talk about it even when you're not on, is because football's been a disaster and men's basketball tanked, there's that much more of a microscope on baseball than it even usually is. Is that fair?
I do think that's fair because, listen, Mississippi State fans are tired of not having anything of significance to cheer about. And that's not a shot at anybody else. You want better press on the radio, win more ball games, right? But, yeah, these fans, I mean, you got 3 straight losing seasons in football. And, you've been at the NCAA tournament 3 out of 4 years but didn't get a single win, And so, yeah, I think a lot of people are like, you know what, hey, we've been able to count on this. But at the beginning of the year when the schedule came out, everybody talked about how difficult the schedule was going to be. And, we got to go to Arkansas first weekend. That's going to be tough. Well, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's a place we hadn't won a series since Ron Polk was the coach, right? And you said, hey, if we can just get one, we'd be happy. Well, we've got one. We're not happy because of the fact the team we believe is probably better than we anticipated. And so now you mentioned the freak out. The freak out is basically this evidence of expectations, right? I mean, it's not a situation where we're just so happy to field the team and be part of the SEC. We are a team that we believe we can go compete in Omaha and compete for things of significance. And these series, under a microscope, you think, man, this is big for us because we're trying to be a top 8 national seed. When you have the opportunity to put an SEC win under your belt, you got to get that thing done because, yeah, there are 27 more of these, but you don't know how many chances you're going to have to win a road series.
Right.
And so I think it's warranted. Absolutely. I think it's because of their care for Mississippi State baseball. It's not just because of the fact that, people are just malcontents. There's some of those out there, but, people want great things to happen for Mississippi State, and that's where that's centered in.
Yeah, I wish there was more of that in football. Steve Robertson, genespage.com, 247 Sports. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Who's a guy that you're watching, because you don't miss an inning and you go to every game? Who's a guy that you're watching that you're like, hey, watch out, this guy may the switch may flip any day now for this guy?
I think it's probably Drew Wires. And I kind of like how they're using him and Garrett Fry. But I think Drew Wires, when you watch him, the quality of his at-bats since he has begun to play regularly has gotten better. And I think he is a guy that I could see just kind of carrying us one weekend. And I think he has that type of ability. And, he's got the ability to hit the long ball and he can work the other way. As he's got more regular at-bats, I think even though he's had a couple of really good games, I think in SEC play, there is going to be one of those weekends you can't even pitch to him. I think he is that caliber of player, and I like how they've kind of used him kind of moving on. On the pitching side, I'm still big on Maddox Miller, and I think one of the things with him, number one, that breaking ball is just completely ridiculous, and I think sometimes when your catching situation's not completely settled, pitchers don't always trust it. Well, I think Maddox, because of his background with his dad and everything, I think he has kind of learned to trust the catching position. It's not his job to catch it. It's his job to throw it, right? I think as they kind of get more comfortable with each other, I think Maddox is going to be a real factor for State from the left-hand side because that breaking ball is ridiculous. But that change-up away with him, and he has had some ridiculously awkward swings. Like he'll throw it up there. It's the same arm slot, the same arm action. It's a fastball. And they're just sitting dead red. I mean, there have been guys that have missed that ball by 2 and 3 feet. And so I think while there has been some up and down with him, and there's going to be up and down with young guys, I think as we get deeper into this, Mississippi State fans are going to be glad when he's on the bump.
How good is Arkansas?
Pitching wise, they may have the best rotation in the league, especially when you factor in couple of their big bullpen arms. They've done a good job putting that pitching staff together, and everybody kind of knew coming in that pitching was going to be their strength. That lineup doesn't scare me, and I think if you watch the weekend, you probably feel like I do. It's like there's nobody in that lineup you have to pitch around. It's mainly a lineup full of doubles hitters. Of course, was it Stewart, the big DH, hit a changeup about 455,000 feet to right field on Friday, but I just don't know that lineup when the pitching fails, is good enough to carry that team. The flip side of it is Arkansas may have the most favorable SEC schedule in the league this year. So they're going to be right there in the mix. All the hosting discussion, I don't think they make a top 8 at this point. But I think you're going to look back at the end, and Arkansas is going to be right there in the top quarter of this league because the schedule is so favorable. I think they head to Missouri this week. I mean, and they're going to feel great about their start, right? Because you get the home win against Mississippi State, and then you get kind of a laugher. And, they get a chance to play South Carolina and Missouri. Then they avoid Texas A&M, LSU, which they probably want to play LSU right now. But
Right.
I think the schedule is so favorable, they're going to be right there in the thick of it. I don't think Arkansas is good enough to really make a bunch of noise in Omaha.
Okay. Wow. Dang. Arkansas Steve on our text line is not going to be happy with Steve Robertson. 2 different Steves. He joins us on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Enjoy amazing dining experiences in Starkville, Mississippi. 2 brothers, older brother bistro, Taste Italian Kitchen, Big E's Steakhouse, Commodore Bob's. It's going to be a fun. And by the way, the weather, Steve mentioned it. The weather, I know it's cold and crazy right now, what happened the last 12 to 24 hours, but the weather this weekend in Starkville is incredible. I mean, 81 on Friday, 84 on Saturday, and 87 on Sunday. They'll be cooking and partying, foul pole to foul. As Steve said, I think they're going to break another record this weekend. And just kind of continue to stack. Maybe not the overall number 1 record, but just a huge crowd throughout the weekend. Okay, people are still asking about the catcher position. You're talking. There's no question this team can be a host of one of the 16. Will they be a national seed? We'll see. That's extremely difficult. How? Give me a timeline on when they got to figure this thing out at catcher so that these pass balls and so on don't compound to where you knock yourself out of a national seed or even possibly knock yourself out of one of the 16 host seats, Steve.
Well, I mean, if you go back and think like last year, like everybody expected Ross Highfield to be the guy, right? And love Ross, love that whole family, and, it just didn't work out. But it took a few weeks to kind of figure that out. You want to give guys every chance to make it. And I think Maluski getting, having that hitch in his back, after weekend 1 has kind of slowed some things down. But you know what? That gave Raymond and Sean James plenty of time. So you kind of figure this thing out and say, okay, well, this is where this guy fits. But, yeah, I think that's a big concern, but I don't think it's the biggest concern. And back to Arkansas Steve for a second, I think Arkansas Steve, if he's objective, will probably agree with me. And if he doesn't, he can get glad in the same pair of pants that he gets mad in.
All right. Steve Robertson on the Out of Bounds Show. There we go. All right. Vandy, you think that they're good, but as you and I were talking yesterday, you're not sold that they're like super awesome by any stretch just because they beat LSU because of the way LSU is playing right now. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, and I think their record indicates that too. I mean, some of these losses you just kind of scratch your head about, and they've got a very offensive-friendly ballpark, especially for left-handed hitters, and which makes you glad you get them on the road, right? But they got some dudes. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But Arkansas and teams like Mississippi State, Tennessee. I mean, we've kind of caught up to them in many respects when it's come to this. Recruiting piece because, and I had a discussion with somebody yesterday. We were talking about this Vandy thing, and of course, they hadn't won a regional since NIL was instituted. Mississippi State hadn't either, but Vandy, of course, was a team that probably set the standard for need-based aid in college baseball. And basically, the way it worked is like parents would feel like, and we're even talking, high-income baseball families would say, well, Vandy just clearly wants us more because they're providing more aid. Well, now everybody can do that, right? Now you're in a situation where everybody can graduate debt-free to play college baseball if you play your cards right. And so as a result, Vandy's not getting the same players they were getting before. They're getting some dudes. They're just not getting as many of them because it's a level playing field in that respect now that many college baseball players in the Southeastern Conference are going to graduate debt-free. That is a benefit that only Vandy had for a long time. And now now we got to figure out if Tim Corbin can coach these guys. And I think you look over the weekend, you feel like, you know what, hey, they did what they needed to do. They stood up at home. And I think it's a big task this weekend. And I think this Mississippi State crowd will have a lot to say about the outcome of this weekend series.
We'll leave it there. GenesPage.com is on fire. 247 Sports. Steve Robertson on the show. Steve, we'll catch up again soon.
See ya.
All right, so the catching position. I see the text. I get it. They'll have to figure that out. Or they won't do everything that you want them to do. It's kind of an important position, isn't it? Yeah. Outside of the bump, the most important position on the field. So, is that fair? Maybe somebody disagrees on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line, 601-885-3776. And Mississippi State will host Vanderbilt this weekend. Weather, now, y'all are texting me that it's snowing at the reservoir and snowing in Philadelphia, Mississippi. But this weekend, it's going to be 81, 84, and 87. It's wild, right? Just wait 5 minutes, and you'll be from one extreme to another. You can't make this stuff up. Absolutely crazy that we went with this little cold front and storms, and now we'll go back to what could be just what looks like a beautiful weekend for baseball all over the SEC, which will be a ton of fun. Back to March Madness. I've got to pick. I mean, y'all know I want St. John's to do well. The draw's not ideal at all. And we talked about that East region. Have y'all looked at this? For those of you that are going to cook out, get crawfish, fill out a you may not have even followed college basketball since November 1st, which is fine. That's okay. There is no, I have to do this to get involved now. But now it's going to be on every TV, every bar and restaurant you go into for the next several weeks. Right? And people are going to be talking about it at your office and so on. So some of you are just going to get in, you're going to, and that's fun. You don't have to be an expert. I mean, we'll let Jay Billis be the expert and John Fanta and so on. But you can have fun with it. We want you to jump into our bracket challenge on ESPN.com because the grand prizes for the champion are going to be amazing. On ESPN.com, our bracket challenge name is OOB High Rollers. OOB High Rollers. In the East region alone in this tournament, Duke, UConn, Michigan State, Kansas, St. John's. That's in one region. Duke, UConn, Michigan State, Kansas, St. John's. Just in the East region. I'm not loving that for Rick Pitino and St. John's. Hour number 3 coming up of the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio.
It's the Out of Bounds Show with Lowbound. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
All set? Let's go.
The Zone.
Oh, look at that.
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, driven by Fowler GMC. GMC Sierra truck. Pre-owned or new. Those are good looking. GMC Yukon Denali. Fowler GMC Pearl Brandon. Hit the website right now. FOWLER. FowlerGMC.com. They've got an awesome selection of GMC Sierra trucks and GMC Yukons. Let's see what we got here. I'm not going to read that. Nope, not going to go there either. Here's an unnamed texter. You know what would be awesome, Bo, is if Two Brothers had Mexican street corn at the Dude. Well, I know they got their wings. Two Brothers has their wings at the Dude this baseball season. I don't know what else. I'd have to ask Barton. But yeah, that is good. And that place will be packed by, well, maybe Thursday afternoon, but definitely Friday before the game. People will be in and out of all the restaurants and bars and so on in Starkville, getting ready for Vanderbilt. The weather looks great, so you're fired up about that. I can't believe it's snowing. What are you going to do about that?
Just not gonna go outside.
Come on.
I'm not going out there in the snow.
You got to walk your dog in the snow.
They
They have to have that experience.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But I'd like for them to experience actual snow.
Oh, not just ice?
Sleet, sludge. Whatever
Yeah,
you
it's
wanna
not
call
cold
it.
enough?
No.
Okay.
Nowhere near.
I think this will be the last
That's it.
big cold. It'll be chilly at times.
Sure.
But like super cold. All right. I think we're hoping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I didn't feel like it was that cold this morning.
Told you it felt like 22. The reading was definitely not that, but it felt like 22. Now I don't know who the judge of that is and how they determine what feels like what.
I didn't look in my car to see what it said temp wise when I got in.
How do you do that? If you know, say it's 30 degrees outside or 35 degrees, how do you walk outside and go, it feels like 22?
I don't know.
Like who's doing that? And how did he get the
Some
job?
weird weather person somewhere, probably in like Guatemala.
Great job.
I don't know.
I mean, sure, all you do is walk outside and see what it feels like.
And just say, this is kind of how it feels.
Round.
I felt like it was 45.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was that cold.
A little chillier than that.
Okay.
Well, did you have your car heated up prior to getting in it?
Of course.
Okay, well, then you wouldn't know.
Well, I still had to walk
to the car.
to my car.
Yeah, that's true.
And I had to actually get a couple of different things because
Okay, yeah.
I had forgotten to get the cigar boxes from Bocock Brothers, the M over S and Old Miss ones, and I had to go back a couple of times.
So, man, so that's multiple trips.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. And I didn't feel like it was cold. I didn't. It's weird. And usually we get the humid cold.
We do.
Did we not have it?
It wasn't that this morning.
That's what it was.
It wasn't that.
Or I didn't check it, but I
Weird.
don't feel like it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Okay.
It was odd.
Okay. We need to get a weather nerd on.
Surely we got some. Well, I mean, figuring Mississippi State has one of the top 5.
Meteorology
10.
school?
They're still top 5. I'm sure top 5,
Yeah.
top 10.
Yeah. We'll get someone on
Those dudes
to break that down.
That stuff's intense.
It is.
Like, very, very intense. I don't know how they do it.
Did you have an intense weekend?
Oh, I didn't go camping.
Okay.
So we weren't in any tents, but
No, I said intense.
yeah, we had a good intense weekend.
Okay.
It was a good one.
Because, you live a life of intensity.
No doubt.
What'd you do on Saturday?
Saturday, we partied.
Okay, you went to a party.
We partied hard. We were. How in the world we end up obviously at Pearl River seeing Smokey Robinson?
Oh, you went up to Pearl River. So you went to Smokey Robinson. Did you have fun?
Dope.
Okay.
You forget how many songs that guy is a part of.
He's a legend.
All
all the people he's collaborated with the last 70 years.
He's Mr. Motown.
Yeah.
He is Motown.
Okay. So what time did you get to Pearl River Resort?
7.
Okay.
Yeah, 7. Got in there because we were going to eat after the show.
Oh, you ate after the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. Probably because
Was Philip M's or Mom and M's open?
Mom and M's open. Usually they're up until 10:30.
Oh, so the show was over by
It got over about 9:45, 10 o'clock. We actually went to the bistro.
Oh.
And we walked over there.
Yeah, I hit that sometimes in the morning.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
They got a good breakfast is all right over there.
Yeah.
They it was packed.
Was it packed?
Packed.
Well, I'm glad I got you tickets.
Packed. And the tickets, I didn't know you had assigned seating in there.
Yeah.
Always. I wasn't aware of that. Bill Engvall did.
Oh, okay.
This was, we've been to a number of these shows up there now, but this one, assigned seating, and I'm going to tell you what, they were going to fight you for that seat.
Well, if your ticket has a seat on it, then you want to be able to sit there.
Absolutely. The
I
seats,
get it.
We were, the seats we had were
It's like when I get on an airplane and people are sitting in the wrong seat.
No,
I can't figure that out. It's very simple.
How?
You're 8B. I don't get it. How are you on row 11?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't understand that. Your ticket says 8B.
You don't get to opt out.
And this happened not to me. Just when I flew to Dallas 2 weeks ago. Also, I saw it when Wilkes and I went to Arizona for the waste management.
Yeah.
If it says 7C, how are you in row 12?
And for what?
Those people should not be allowed to vote.
Or fly at all, yeah, but vote, yeah.
I don't understand. Walk me through how you can't, your ticket's on your phone, and it says, I'm in 9C.
Like big lettered.
Why are you on row 7?
Because you're not gaining any advantage.
No. There's no.
You're just causing disruption.
Unless you're in the first 4, 5, 6 rows of first class.
Right.
What? What are we doing? It says you're on row 12, not 16.
Oh, I hate that.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, okay, what is the point there? Like at a concert, if you're sitting in the
And
wrong
don't
deal,
bring food on the plane that has, a turkey sandwich is fine.
Right. Oh, man.
Don't bring Thai food or, have some kind of self-awareness in life.
Decency. Please.
Good Lord.
I can't stand that.
I just don't get, okay, my seat, my ticket says I'm on row 10, but I decided to sit down on row 8. Can somebody explain it to me?
With no intentions of getting up.
Dexter said, my uncle used to say some people will try to wash dishes in the bathroom.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I don't know if I have. It's been a long time. I haven't heard that one.
That is really
I don't
good.
understand. Your ticket says row 15, and you're on row 12. What are you doing? We're just trying to all sit down as quickly as we can, taxi out to the damn runway, and get the bird off the ground.
A to B, let's go.
We are the Out of Bounds Show. Lunch today, chicken fried chicken, dogwood, flowwood, burgers, blues, barbecue, B3. They've got a new green space, too.
it is not super hard to get to Omaha.
Good morning. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Ole Miss and Chris Beard had a hell of a run in the SEC basketball tournament. I mean, they won 3 games. They were there forever. Now that we're 16 teams, and when I was growing up, the tournament didn't start till Thursday. That kind of sounded like old, but anyway, now it starts on Wednesday. And they won on Wednesday. They won on Thursday. They won on Friday. And they almost won on Saturday against Cal and the Hogs. And it was a fun run. And we'll see, you know, sometimes there's a benefit to that as far as Beard retaining players and some other things. But he did a hell of a job, and it was close, 93-90 on Saturday. Good Lord. With Cal and the Hogs and Beard and the Rebels. This is Chris Beard after the Ole Miss Arkansas game.
Coach, when you look back at this season and the struggles you guys endured and then the run that you made here, what are you always going to remember about this team when it's all said and done?
Yeah, they just didn't quit. You know, you wake up, it's your 8-year-old daughter's birthday party, and you wake up and you're sick. And most people can't get out of bed, but you got to get out of bed. And then on the way to work, you get a speeding ticket. And later that day, the clown that you hired for your daughter's birthday, he cancels on you. Your boss wants to talk to you about a review. You go out to the parking lot, your car tire is slashed, but somehow, some way, you can't quit. You got to get to your daughter's birthday party. And then when you get there, you can't act like you've had a bad day. You got a stone face, fake it if you have to. And that's what these guys, I mean, we didn't quit. Our home fans know that. The national media probably just sees the scores and they see the win-loss record. But this team competed all the way to the end. The speech that I just gave them in the locker room after the game is one of the hardest things you have to do each season. And everybody has to do it except for one team. Even on that last night, you know, I've been in that last game before, that Monday night game, and you got to give that speech unless the confetti's coming down on you. And today was a different speech that I envisioned giving this team because the way we made a run here in Nashville, just so happy and proud of the players. I know there's a lot of lessons this year that they can tap back into, not only in their basketball careers, but in their lives, being husbands, being fathers. These guys didn't quit. That's not coaching speak. It's just true. I mean, you saw how we played. We didn't lose the game today. We ran out of time. Big difference. You know, we're 1 inch away from being in here preparing for the championship game tomorrow.
That was Chris Beard after his team made a run in the they beat Texas, they beat Georgia, they beat Alabama, and they almost beat Arkansas in the semifinals in Nashville. And they gave Cal and the Hogs all they wanted, who eventually won it. Right. Vanderbilt bounced Florida on Saturday. I think people had Florida in. And Vanderbilt, and we had a Vandy, Arkansas battle. Darius Acuff, good Lord. But hey, Chris Beard and Ole Miss, they didn't quit. And they had lost some close games throughout the conference season. I mean, you would look up and they would lose 80-77. So they never threw in the towel. Hey, will you play the Beard on fatigue? It's number 1. I thought this was good. They kept asking Beard throughout the week once, you know, because you're coming out of the first play, have to play on Wednesday because you were not good in the regular season. And they kept asking Beard about his team and fatigue. And this is what Beard had to say.
He's good. Coach, what's the message to your team before coming out for the last time, for warm-ups, for the game? What are you saying to switch that mentality? Because it looks like it's a hit-first mentality.
Yeah, twofold. You know, opportunity knocks in life, and you got to embrace it. This is our time today. Second thing, just making sure we're all on the same page. This whole idea about fatigue. is one of the most overwritten things ever. I mean, these guys growing up playing 3 games a day in EYBL. Yep. I know in Conflans Park in Irving, Texas, where I grew up, we played for 5 hours a day. So I'll take the momentum of winning over the rest this time of year, man. So the guys understood, no excuses. We're not tired. Let's go play 40 minutes.
Well, they used the momentum of winning to get all the way to Saturday. And I said this last week, I don't know what Beard puts in his vanilla or chocolate milkshake. Whatever it is, it's good on the first Monday of the postseason, which is kind of the conference tournament, because they just start winning. I mean, he's already played the national championship game and made another run as a head coach even other than that season. But, I mean, he won 5 games. You got to win 5 games to get to the national championship game in March Madness. So that year he went 5-1. Last year he went to the Sweet 16, but even prior to that, he had another deep run other than the one I just referenced. And this week, where they could have just mailed it in. I mean, the only way they were going anywhere was to win it all.
Right.
And they won 3 against Texas, Georgia, and Bama.
But like you just said, what this actually does for Beard. He needed it. Did they lose 12 out of the last 13? It was tough.
Yeah, and a lot of those games were 1 and 2 possession games.
What could have seemed like an empty promise actually may have carried a little weight.
Well, I don't know what they did, because they took a loss to South Carolina at home. What was it, the last game or whatever? I mean, good Lord. And then something happens on Sunday and Monday going into the SEC basketball tournament. I don't know. I don't know what his philosophy is or whatever, but whatever it is, it works. Last year they didn't play well. I mean, they were okay, and then all of a sudden they got going right at the end of the regular season SEC tournament, and then won 2 games and could have easily won 3 to go to the Elite 8. I mean, they were up on Michigan State and at times dominating, and Michigan State really had to, pull one out of the Izzo style to beat them in Atlanta. Because the winner, Michigan State, went to the Elite 8. Ole Miss would have gone. They've never been to the Elite 8. I mean, that would have been Sweet 16's amazing. Elite 8 is incredible, but Beard and them, I love what he said about fatigue. Look, these guys have played 3 games a day in EYBL, travel ball, whatever you want to call it, and they can keep playing. Plus all the stuff now that they do for players compared to like if you were playing in 1984. Now you're in Nashville, you're staying in great hotels. Remember Beard reference going to Hall's Chop House, owned by Mississippi State alum. It's one of the premier steakhouses in the country. It's talked about all over. It's out of Charleston, South Carolina, but they have them sprinkled up into the Carolinas up and then into Nashville. I love that he referenced, was that after, I think that was after Friday night's game when they beat Bama, but it may have been after beating Georgia. Think about who they beat. Sean Miller's a hell of a coach at Texas. Michael White's solid, although Georgia's in. So kudos to Michael White for figuring it out at a school that doesn't really care. And maybe that's what it took. And then he beat Nate Oates in Alabama on Friday and almost beat Cal and Arkansas with the best player. He's the best player in the country. Not just the best player in the SEC. He's the best player in the country. In Darius Acuff and the Arkansas Razorbacks, who are your SEC tournament champions. But that was a cool run. And Ole Miss, credit to Beard. They could have just gone up there and thrown in the towel and gone home. Right? We're powered by Superior Foundation for all your foundation repairs.
Show me the money!
That's what Steve Robertson's saying.
Show me the money!
That's right. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. It's a big week or weekend this weekend in Starkville as they host the Vanderbilt Commodores. And y'all know all the good places, starting with Older Brother Bistro in the Cotton District, which is fantastic. It's an elevated version of Two Brothers, which is really, really good. And they're right beside each other in the Cotton District. And don't forget, Taste Italian Restaurant in Starkville, too, is there. You got Big E's Steakhouse over there, which is awesome. Wendy and I love to go there. It's right by OOB's on that side. And then you've also got a little Commodore Bob's, all kinds of good spots to pick and choose. In fact, I still owe Steve, this is bad. I still owe Steve Robertson dinner from he and I betting that Coleman Hutzler, I said he wouldn't be back, and he wasn't, but it changed. And he said he wouldn't. And we kept going through it, and eventually Levy told him he wasn't going to fire him. And so Hutzler came back for year 2. I still owe Steve Robertson dinner. And Steve, genespage.com, 247 Sports. Steve Robertson, how are you, bud?
Well, I keep forgetting about the steak dinner, but now, I mean, my mood this morning has now improved. I know that you're indebted to me. I need to cash in on that sometime soon.
You have to. I have to buy you dinner at either Commodore Bob's, Big E's, Taste, or Older Brother Bistro. Elevated, whatever you want. Ribeye, filet. Are you a ribeye guy or a filet guy?
I'm a ribeye guy.
Me too.
You know what? I can always come down to the greater Madison area and maybe go to Kessler Prime or somewhere like that. I got a car. Everything. I don't have a curfew either. So.
That's right. Yeah, you just drove to Fayetteville, Arkansas, so you're good. Yeah, well, we'll host you here too. So however that goes. Let's. I'm not going to pinpoint. So I'm not going to go way deep here. I'm going to let you go. Mississippi State loses 2 of 3. It's not all doom and gloom. They won a game and were very competitive, especially in game 1. Game 3 kind of lost their way a little bit. But what's your, as you look at it, hitting, pitching, behind the plate, what's your one big takeaway from the Mississippi State-Arkansas series?
Well, I'll give you a couple. Number one, offensively, we're really good. We didn't show it in game 3. I mean, you get a 3-0 lead there in the second inning, and they don't get another hit until the 8th inning. And it's going to be like that sometimes in the SEC.
Sure.
But, you don't really know what you have in the bullpen until this first weekend. And I really thought Arkansas probably managed it a little bit better than we did. Because, granted, you get the benefit if you're Dave Van Horn, knowing in game 2 that, State separates, so you're not gonna throw any big arms in a game that's already done, especially the first game of a doubleheader. So they kind of, pushed their premium relief arms to game 3. And so I think the decision to throw Ben Davis in game 2 kind of came back to haunt Mississippi State in game 3. Now, Ben Davis was not great. Don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of that kind of goes back to what happened at Arlington, right? I mean, you're up big. Virginia Tech, you're just trying to get the game over. So you run Jack Bauer and some younger kids out there, and then it ends up having to be played full 9. That, it's just those kinds of things. I think it says, hey, let's make sure we get one. Let's get this handled, and then we've got everybody else available for game 3. And I thought Arkansas had one more bullet in the gun. They still had McElvain to pitch.